Let's get started with Stacey Abrams, who claims there's no such thing as a heartbeat for fetuses. I say that with heavy quotes. That's a scientific term, but in my opinion, it is a baby from the moment it's a zygote, from the moment it's fertilized and it begins to conceive and turn into things. That is the point. It is a baby. It doesn't matter if you say, oh, well, when it has eyes or when it has feet or when it has a heartbeat, it's a baby from the start. You know what you're doing. But anyways, past all that, because we can discuss all that another time, we need to jump into what Stacey Abrams is saying, this whole new precedent she's trying to set. Now, as you guys know, in Georgia, we have this thing called the heartbeat ban. Now, I'm not the hugest fan of it, but I also understand why you need to take a stand at some point and say, all right, here's the line, we draw it. And I respect Brian Kemp and the Republican legislature in Georgia for doing that, and it's something that I supported at the time. We can set all that aside for now, but she's trying to fight back against that. Now, the fetal heartbeat bill thing was an attachment at the 6-week mark, so 6 weeks after, I believe that's after conception, is when the heartbeat finally starts to come in. Stacey Abrams was trying to fight against that by saying, well, there's actually no such thing, and it's actually the ultrasounds that are creating it. It's a manufactured sound. We have this article here, but first things first, I gotta hear it from her big mouth first, because I'm sure I'm gonna hear a lot of information.
There is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that men have the right to take control of a woman's body away from her.
Once again, for those who didn't hear, I'll turn it up a little bit as well so we can play it again. Get ready.
There is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that men have the right to take control of a woman's body away from her. There is no...
All right, we're going to throw a big fat...
Stop the cap!
...on that one for Stacey Abrams. You can... Okay. What this it's not like the TSA, okay? We all know that the TSA in airports is security theater. That's the whole point. It's supposed to make you feel safer, not really doing a whole lot. People have tested it. You can get all sorts of things through there. It's not the greatest system. When you're at an OBGYN or you're at one of these doctor's offices where they pull out the machine, they rub the stuff on your belly, and they've got the thing shooting sound waves into your baby, you can see things and you can determine whether it's alive or not. Are you thinking that the little woof, 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 the sound that the ultrasound machine makes, that's the heartbeat that you're thinking of? Because no, Stacey Abrams, that's not. The heartbeat is what they're actually using those sounds to then turn around and hear. Okay, it's a separate thing, and I'm no medical technician or anything like that. I haven't studied these things, but the people that have disagree with you. In fact, there was somebody who commented on this, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it right now, but it said, OBGYN here, this is incorrect. You are hearing a real heartbeat at 6 weeks or at whatever other point the baby decides to develop that, because it happens at all sorts of different points. Sometimes it can happen, I believe, as late as 8 weeks or even later on than that, or even earlier than that. It can happen at 4 or 5 weeks? These things happen at all sorts of different ways. Stem cells are incredible things of human biology and science, but it's a great thing that you cannot deny is true. You just cannot. And also a reminder, Abrams supports no limits on abortion, so honestly, would she care if the heartbeat is there or not? Why, that's not really an argument for her to make, because in her opinion, it doesn't matter if the baby has a heartbeat or not. Heck, if she agrees with Ralph Northam, it doesn't matter if the baby's been born or not. He's fine with keeping it comfortable until a decision can be made. But let's jump into this article here. Georgia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams said Wednesday there is no such thing as a fetal heartbeat at 6 weeks. At an event at the Ray Charles Performing Arts Center in Atlanta, Abrams claimed that the sound of such fetal heartbeats is manufactured by men seeking to take control of women. Okay. There's no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. Abrams, who is running against incumbent Republican Brian Kemp, told the audience it is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that the men have the right to take control over a woman's body. Abrams seemed to be referring to Georgia's pro-life law passed after the overturning of Roe v. Wade last year. The Georgia legislation known as the Living Infants Fairness and Equality Life Act, or Heartbeat Bill, bans abortion after a fetal heartbeat is detected, sometimes as early as 6 weeks. The Georgia law includes exceptions for rape and incest as long as a police report is filed. It also allows for later abortions when the mother's life is at risk or a serious medical condition renders a fetus unviable. These are terms of which a lot of moderates and other people say, listen, I can set the line here and be like, that's acceptable if you want to ban abortion at all. So I can understand why they've baked those pieces into the law. The law passed in 2019, but a federal judge ruled it unconstitutional and blocked it. A federal appeals court overturned the lower court's ruling, allowing the law to take effect on July 20th. Fox Digital reached out to Abrams' office for clarification, but did not receive a response. Abrams, who was pro-life until the age of 30 when she began considering a run for office, has made an aggressive push to earn pro-choice bona fides in her gubernatorial campaign. And during an appearance on The View last week, host Alyssa Griffin asked Abrams what limitations she would support on abortion access. Abrams responded that a woman should have a right to abortion all the way until birth if her health or life is endangered. Now, health or life can be kind of vague. Do you mean like the actual life or just what they appear to say is what their life should be? We actually saw studies that come out that show that women, and I believe it was 60% or even more, and I'm probably going to have to find this later on just to really have it to back it up, but women that decide to get abortions, when surveyed about why they did it or why they were considering it, it wasn't all about economics. It wasn't all about, oh, I didn't think I had the right family situation or I felt that my life was in danger. It was just, I didn't feel like I was ready. It was elective. I chose to do it. So clearly you can see why people are really hammering on this issue, and I can understand electorally speaking why some may want to step back, and Stacey Abrams might want to hammer it even harder because it's a popular issue. A lot of people have opinions on it that is beneficial to Democrats. But you can see why people really want to step in and be like, okay, listen, this is why we need this, all right? This is why. This is why. And that's why people in the comments have a lot to say. Bryce says, hey, Chandler, it's me. Look, I don't want to interrupt you or anything, but I don't want to do this anymore. It's not your fault or my fault. Any situation. What I'm saying is I don't want to be in the mind of politics anymore. I don't like politics. I just want Trump back. And now I'm having mixed feelings about Trump. I don't hate him or anything. I don't know how to explain it. I really don't. I hope he brings back his 2016 version of himself. You probably won't see me again, Chandler. It's nice knowing you, friend. I hope we one day meet again. Well, it's been nice having you here on the channel, Bryce. And I understand a lot of people getting just sick and tired of politics at this point. And with everything that we have constantly fielding through, I understand it. So it's been nice having you, Bryce, a young voice here on the channel. Peace out to you, man. I hope you find plenty of joy in life. And if you still want to hang out with me, per se, then make sure you sign up over on Rumble and watch our gaming streams. I don't know how into gaming you are, but it'd be a good way to hang out with me with a whole lot less politics. But either way, hope you have a great time, and been nice having you on the channel. But seriously, this whole thing right here really hammers the point of Stacey Abrams and all those in. All right, what does Right to Bear Meme say? Doctors topping off the ultrasound with heartbeats to convince pro-lifers that life begins at 6 weeks. That's hilarious right there. This is like real conspiracy stuff. Like, they're always all like, we need to trust the science and all that. But then when it comes to, I don't know, heartbeats in the womb or anything like that, well, that's science we don't actually need to trust. Or, you know what, bump it. Even if it has a heartbeat, it's not alive. Of course, I don't really know what makes Stacey Abrams or I any different than that fetus at 6 weeks having a heartbeat or not. Okay, Stacey Abrams. Clearly, you're not making much sense whatsoever, so we're gonna move on along to the next pieces of this puzzle. But simply speaking, Stacey, get out, okay? You're not going to win. I'm not going to let you win. I actually, I'm going to do a little bit of self-promo here. I posted a tweet here on Twitter, also all other platforms as well, yesterday, because I have officially registered to vote here in Georgia. I said last week I turned 18, and just today I've officially registered to vote. This November, I'm sending Stacey Abrams back to Golden Corral and Warnock back to church. This one right here actually got people kind of offended because they're saying Warnock has never been to church. Now, Warnock has been to church. He's actually, or is or was, the pastor at MLK's church. But clearly he needs to go back. He needs to learn a lot more. He needs to get right. He really does, because he is. What type of pastor is pro-abortion? That doesn't make any sense. But seriously, this Stacey Abrams part, she's definitely needs to go back to Golden Corral. She cannot stay. We really cannot keep her. So
You just watched a clip from one of our live shows. Our live shows are exclusively available to our locals community supporters. So visit the link in the description or go to chandlercrump.locals.com and become a monthly supporter for as little as $5 a month to gain access to our full live shows as well as other exclusive content.